Hey guitar players, I'm Sean. Welcome to today's video. A question for you. Have you been playing guitar for a while, but you still find the fretboard like totally confusing and, mystifying in some ways? Well, you're totally not alone. And I mean, it's not surprising, like given the way that the guitar is set up, we have things like note duplications to deal with, like, so where exactly do I play these notes? And the fact that the neck does not seem obvious at first or easily laid out. And then of course we have to kind of crank our head around to see what we're doing, and we have to play mostly by feel. Well, trust me, you're totally not alone on this. I mean, many great musicians, even coming from other instruments, find the guitar really confusing at first. As a matter of fact, a little story for you, I ran into a buddy of mine who's a professional piano player at a music store the other day, and he's taken up the guitar because he's trying to be really cool like all of us. And he was saying, man, I'm having a really hard time with the fretboard. It's, for a lot of those reasons that I just stated. And he said, do you have any tips or advice for me to get to know, the fretboard better? So I gave him a bunch of stuff, and I thought, it would be really great to share with you just a couple of these today. Now, when you think about it, there are multiple ways to get your notes on the guitar. We have vertical and horizontally on the instrument. So vertically, that means that we're going to be playing stuff all in kind of one area, which is known as a position. And I've heard people refer to these as like boxed areas or positions or caged position, kind of the same thing. So just position, but there's also across, like up and down the strings of the guitar, kind of the horizontal way. And we are going to focus on that for today. So I'm going to give you two great little exercises. The first one is pretty straight ahead, and then it has a variation to make it a little bit more challenging. And then exercise number two is a real thinker. So make sure you stick around and check that one out. All right, the first exercise, it's pretty straight ahead. What it involves you doing is starting from an open string and playing each one of the notes, each fret, all the way up to the 12th fret. And that's what's known as moving chromatically, or note by note. And then we kind of go back down exactly the way that we came until we get to that open string again. Now, what you do is you say the name of each of the notes as you're going. So in other words, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. I used the sharp names for the accidentals on the way up. And now as I go back down, I'm going to use the flats. So E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, and E. Okay? And you do that for every string of the guitar, right? So B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, etc., etc., etc. Sharps on the way up and flats on the way down. And I highly recommend, again, that you say the names of the notes out loud, because otherwise you're just kind of wiggling your fingers. And, whereas we might start thinking to ourselves, oh, I got B, I got C sharp. Chances are you're going to start thinking about what you're going to have for lunch at some point. We all know how distracted we can get. So I would recommend definitely saying those note names out loud. Now, the variation on this is basically to strip away the accidentals, or the accidentalized notes. So in other words, if I go back to my first string here, I would have E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and E, right? So none of the sharps or flats, and then E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E. Okay? And like, I don't know, like the third string. So G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc., etc., etc. And again, say the names of those notes out loud. So how you make a note so far? If you're enjoying this content, would you consider liking and subscribing to this channel if you haven't done so already? Thanks in advance. That really, really helps me out. And I also have a monthly newsletter if you're interested, and all the links are down below. Okay, let's get on to exercise 2. Okay, so exercise number 2. This is what I like to call pick a note. It sounds almost like a game show title. And it's as it sounds. You pick a note. So let's pick C. Now here's what you do. I recommend you start on the first string. So you find your C note on your first string, and now we find it on our second string, and then our third, our fourth, our fifth, and our sixth string. Okay, now the reason I'm starting off on the first string is, as guitar players, if you've been playing for a while, you've probably learned these octave patterns, right? This is just kind of a way of trying to bunk that, like trying to keep you from using it so you purposely find your notes instead of relying on a pattern. Okay, and don't be afraid to shy away from sharps and flats. So if I was doing like A flat, for example, A flat, A flat, A flat, A flat, A flat. And that, my friend, is called pick a note. All right, so let's talk about a little variation to the pick a note exercise. And this one I like to call, because I like to have names for everything, say it, then play it. So if we pick a note, we'll pick like A, for example. So instead of just going for it and playing it on the guitar, think about it, visualize where it is on your guitar, and then say it, like say where it, what its location is. So A, for example, is on my first string at my 5th fret, right? So right there. But it's also on my 2nd string at my 10th fret, my 3rd string at my 2nd fret, get the idea? And then it's on the 7th fret on my 4th string. It's the 5th string open, or at the 12th fret, depending on how you want to do that one. And then on the 6th string, just like on the 1st string, it's at the 5th fret. Now that's a good one to do even away from your instrument. I mean, you could have some downtime at work and you could kind of run that one. You could be, I don't know, cooking dinner, sitting in traffic, whatever. It's a great opportunity to really visualize and really firm up where these notes are. And then one last variation on this is if you have a buddy that plays guitar, you could get them to pick a random note on a string and go, hey, what's that? And then just kind of look, you know, and go, oh, okay, what did I play? That's a D, you know. What's this one? What's this one? Okay, so that's kind of another level of challenge there. So there you go. There's a couple of great ways to get better at your fretboard. In future videos, I will talk about playing vertically or in position, and then eventually about mixing the two together. But until then, I'm Sean. Happy guitaring.